It's the 4th of July. And it wouldn't be the 4th of July if we don't talk baseball. Phillies are 100% on the agenda. Awards being given out left and right. Honors being given out left and right. And a big come from behind victory last night against the Cubs. So we're going to talk baseball. Absolutely. We're going to talk 4th of July, barbecues, Joey Chestnut in the hot dog contest. And as the picture shows, the graphic of the day, Saquon Barkley. The Giants just can't keep him out of their mouths. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Trending in the AM, we are live. Taking all your thoughts and opinions on anything you want to talk about. Maybe some special guests later throughout the show. We're live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Make sure you do me that solid. You know the drill. Please like this video, subscribe, share this video out, follow. Wherever you're watching, do whatever it is that you can do to make sure as many people find this show as possible, as many people get interactive with this show as possible. The number one morning show in Philadelphia, the number one and longest and first morning show on YouTube in the Philadelphia area. Guys, I greatly appreciate each and every one of those things. I am your host. I'm doing those things right now on my phone, clicking all those share buttons to make sure everybody gets in. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can follow me at Beard of Knowledge on all social media platforms. I think Facebook is done being shared. Now I got to share YouTube out. But guys, it's the 4th of July. It's a great day. We're a little bit late. We're starting at 9 today instead of 8. Wanted to give myself an extra, hour to sleep this morning. I figure I earned that extra hour of sleep this morning. So hope you guys don't mind. But it also means it's the 4th of July. We're on no hard time. Whenever we want to go to. If I want to keep it to a shorter show, an hour, we can. If I want to keep it to the normal 90 minutes, we can. If we want to go 2 hours, we can. We can go as long as we want today because I don't have to work. You don't have to work. And what's better than talking about beer, burgers, baseball, sports on the 4th of July? There's nothing better than that to do. So I'd greatly appreciate it. Good morning, elephant in the room. How you doing? Good morning, little G. Adam, how are you? And yes, thank you to everyone that served. I do want to start the show out a little bit more seriously here. And it's something that, I don't get personal. I don't put my own feelings out there very often. But I just want to, I have a dedication for this show. And I'm already just saying it, thinking about it. My eyes are tearing up. For those that don't know, I lost my father when I was 18 years old. I'm 43. And I lost him on the 4th of July, cancer. And today's the 25th year, marks the 25th year since he passed away. I've dealt with it before. I feel sad about it or upset about it or I miss him, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But for some reason this year, something got into my mind about the fact that it's been 25 years. And 18, I got with him, 25 without him. So today, as a guy that was a big baseball fan, as a guy that was a big sports fan, as a guy that worked nonstop and gave me the hard, desiring work ethic to just succeed and do everything, I want to dedicate this show to him. I mean, I dedicate everything I do to him, but, extra special dedication to my father today. because we miss him. We do every day, and we see him and think of him in everything we do. So I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm cutting this. I had a whole speech planned, but I knew this was going to happen. I'm cutting it short because I'm already teared up in the eyes just thinking about him. So please, guys, do me that favor and like this show for him. I'm going to pull on your strings. Hit that like and share button for him, because I do this and I work hard every day to honor him and honor his legacy. And thinking of you, buddy, my man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's one of those things that when it was 22 years, I didn't feel the way I do today. But for some reason, the number 25 versus 18 with him, 25 without him, it really got me in my feels today. So I'm trying. I'm going to put my glasses back down. I actually, instead of coffee, I have coffee here. I bought myself a Bloody Mary to get through this show today. Happy 4th of July, Brian. I hope you are well, my man. Thank you very much, Adam. We do this every day for him. We do. Back when he was around, WIP was a respected radio station. Had respected. Howard Eskin was a respected journalist back when he was around. Nothing. Like today, he would be disgusted if he knew what became of some of the people he made me listen to every single day in the car with him. And we were in the car a lot together. Happy 4th, Steve. How are you, my man? I put it out there. You don't know. There might be at some point today some EOP guys popping in. I threw it out there. Whoever wants to come in is more than welcome to join the show today. Let's get that Bloody Mary in. So it's normally, what's more 4th of July than beer, burgers, and baseball? It's early in the morning. So instead of beer, we're substituting with some Bloody Marys here this morning. But we're going to talk about a lot of stuff this morning. We're going to talk baseball. Absolutely. Big win for the Phillies last night. Christopher Sanchez getting pitcher of the month of June. Huge honor, and he goes today. Alec Boehm, along with Trey Turner and Bryce Harper, named all-star starters yesterday. And, of course, like I said, a huge come-from-behind victory last night against the Cubs, and an opportunity to potentially sweep them tonight as your NL pitcher of the month of June. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phillies today. So we are going to talk a lot of baseball today. So thoughts on the Phillies, anything you guys want to throw in there, make sure you get in there. We are going to talk for fun at some point today a little bit about Joey Chestnut and how he is not in the hot dog contest. And so I now don't want to watch the hot dog eating contest today. So that is on the agenda. What are you grilling today? What is going on the barbecue? That is on the agenda today. So I'm curious to know what people are cooking. I got a pasta salad to make today. I got some chicken skewers ready to go on the grill. I got some mozzarella. I'm going to make a little mozzarella tomato salad. A little bit of everything going on today. It's just my wife and I. We're just going to watch baseball, drink beer, and eat. We're also going to talk about the Eagles today because the Giants just seem to can't the Giants already seem like they regret letting Saquon Barkley go. And it got me really thinking, and I don't watch Hard Knocks regularly, haven't watched it yet, but I've seen all the clips. The Giants did not want to let Saquon Barkley go. And it's got me thinking about how this offense can look with Saquon Barkley behind Jalen Hurts or next to Jalen Hurts. We'll see what the system looks like once camp gets here in a couple of weeks. But, man, Saquon Barkley, he's an Eagle. And the Giants' entire identity is gone. What did Jara or one of the guys in the videos, I forget whether it was the GM or the owner or one of the scouts, like, what is our identity going to be without him? All our touchdowns offense is gone. So it's some stuff there that are on the agenda. Hamburgers, hot dogs, macaroni salad, pasta salad, corn on the cob, and red, white, and blue cup. My God, you got like a whole feast going, Adam. I guess that's, we just cook for two, my wife and I, and the dogs. I can't make hamburgers, hot dogs, macaroni, and potato salad. That's a little bit too much. I got a nice little pasta salad going. We're going to make a little lotte street corn pasta salad today. I got some chicken skewers marinating in like a little citrus lime, marinade. So we're going to eat. Don't you worry, but we're going to drink. I got like 30 beers in the fridge, and we'll see how many of them I can get to today to get through my emotions and through my feelings today. But let's get to the Phillies. I want to talk Phillies to kick off this show. Good morning, Eric. How you doing? Hope you're well, my man. Let's start with the Phillies. And yes, a big win yesterday. And it's something that, I just, Alec Boehm gets named an all-star starter for the first time in his career, all-star for the first time in his career, but he's starting. And I started thinking about Alec Boehm's tenure here in Philly. Almost wins the rookie of the year, his rookie year. I know that was the short COVID year. Then he goes on, and in his second year, has the incident early year with where I effing hate this place. And he's turned himself into with his game with his 2-run home run last night that helped take the lead back from the Cubs at that moment. Then they lost the lead and got it back again. He's up to 11 home runs and 70 RBIs. And we're not even at the All-Star break yet. And he got named All-Star starter. Just the career trajectory for this kid. Like, I always thought this kid had the talent. But this kid has ascended to being an amazingly great Major League Baseball player. And I don't know if I could have foreseen him getting to this level of composure, this skill set this quickly in his career. And I always hear people saying, well, we can move him to first, or he might have to be a trade thing. Alec Boehm is a cornerstone of this team now. He is part of that daycare. He is going to be a part of this Phillies team for a really long time. And he is going to be one of those pieces that helps bring a championship back to this city. And last night, sometimes when you get that first time recognition, first time All-Star, first time Player of the Month, first time, whatever award or recognition you get, it gets to you. You get a little slump. Not Alec Boehm. He goes out there last night, hits a 2-run bomb to get the lead for the Phillies. Good morning, mister. How are you? And just yesterday's game in general kind of encapsulates this Phillies team. I mean, if you look at yesterday's lineup, Stott, Turner, Bowman, Casty at the top 4. And then you had Sosa, Murrayfield. I know Murrayfield got a big RBI late in the game, but whatever. Pache, Rojas, Marchand. I mean, you got 5, maybe 6 guys in the lineup that don't even belong starting in a Major League lineup right now. And they're out there. And they still found a way to win. They still found a way to win with Zach Wheeler. I mean, I know Zach Wheeler only gave up 2 runs, but if you watched that game last night, he went 6 innings, threw over 100 pitches, walked a couple batters. He didn't have his best stuff. And he still was able to keep quality start in play. And the Phillies were still able to find a way to win. I was watching that game, and I said, like, the vibe's just not there. They're just not ready for this game. They're not going to win this game as you're watching it, the feeling. And they did. Why? Because everybody takes a turn stepping up on this team. And it's so refreshing to watch. It's so refreshing to see. Is there any possibility once JT comes back that Marchand stays and his backup catcher and Stubbs gets sent down? Adam, I think the answer to that question is absolutely resoundingly 0% chance. Stubbs has actually done pretty well, statistically speaking, filling in for JT Realmuto. His locker room vibe, what he brings culture-wise to the Phillies is very important. Because let's be realistic, come playoff time, backup catcher means nothing. A backup catcher will not play, barring an injury. Marchand is a nice player, but Marchand is just a quadruple A player, in my opinion. He's a guy, well, not that Stubbs is much better. He's a guy that is good to get called up upon necessary, injuries and stuff. But that's it. I don't think Marchand needs to be kept and Stubbs sent down because I think it potentially changes the vibe of the locker room. And I really feel that in baseball and football, to an extent, locker room vibe means a lot. Locker room vibes mean so much. When you're on the road and you're together 162 games, like 170 days a year, plus playoffs, plus spring training, plus postseason, the amount of days these guys stay together, keeping the vibe in the locker room at a certain tone, and Stubbs does that, is valuable. And Stubbs, like I said, hasn't played bad when he's playing in place of JT Realmuto. He's getting a few more at-bats. His batting average has come up a little bit during JT's out. So I don't think it's necessary. If anything, maybe Marshawn's showing something and you can use him as trade potential when you're trying to add a bat or a pitcher. Happy 4th of July, Duck. I would please ask anybody that comes in late to please go back at some point and read the intro because I just want everybody to know what this show today specifically means to me. And I gave it in my opening monologue a little shout out to someone. So please, everybody, stay here, but then later go back and watch it if you want. Didn't think Marshawn had the pop that he has. I mean, every Major League Baseball player lucks into a home run or two. I don't know if Marshawn's got pop, so to speak. I just think Marshawn, maybe he's a better pure hitter than Stubbs, but realistically speaking, he doesn't do too much different. I had a feeling Bohm was going to be great his rookie year. I've said it all along that Bohm was destined to be an 18 to 20 home run hitter with 110 RBI potential and a 300 hitter. He's right around 300. He's already got 70 RBIs. If he doesn't hit 120 RBIs, he's going to have a slump of the second half. The home runs, I'm pretty spot on. I've always said Bohm had potential to be an elite hitter. I really did. To be a run producer, to be a guy that could drive in runs. He's never going to be a power hitter. Remember last year, everyone was talking about all the muscle mass he put on? Everyone's like, he's going to hit 40 home runs. I'm like, no, that's not him. His swing isn't conducive to 40 home runs or anything like that. But Alec Bohm is something special. And maybe going today for the Phillies in Christopher Sanchez, maybe we've lucked into something else special. And let's congratulate Alec Bohm as much as we can for being a all-star starter for the first time. But let's give credit to Christopher Sanchez. He deserves a nomination to be a pitcher. Like right now, Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez, Ranger Suarez all deserve all-star nods. Alvarado, Strom, I know he gave up a couple runs in the last couple of weeks. Strom, Hoffman, all deserve all-star nods. They're not going to take 8 Phillies pitchers to the all-star game. I get that. But Christopher Sanchez going today, the day after being awarded pitcher of the month of June. And I know Harper got player of the month of June. It's customary for him to be elite. But let's give Bohm and let's give Christopher Sanchez the props they deserve. Because they deserve them. They deserve them massively for what they've done, what they're capable of doing, and how this season is going for them. And I entirely expect, 100% expect Christopher Sanchez, like Alec Bohm yesterday, to not have a letdown after the big moment. I fully expect Christopher Sanchez to come out there today, whatever you want to call it, today, tonight, tomorrow, whenever, and throw a strong outing. I just put a parlay. Phillies win, Sanchez 7+ strikeouts. I think that's I got like plus 350, plus 400 on that parlay. Have a little 4th of July fun. What's more better than on the 4th of July than baseball, beer, barbecue, and a little betting? So I threw a couple bets out on today's Phillies game. Why not? Let's have a little fun on the 4th of July. Little baby bets. I think all 3 bets combined were like $12 I threw out there. But why not? This Phillies team is something special. And I talk about vibes there with Stubbs on Adam's question, and I missed this 2 nights ago after the game. Game 1 against the Cubbies. I missed it. But I saw a video yesterday afternoon on Twitter of it. And it was after Michael Mercado's big start. And if I would have seen this, I would have brought it up on yesterday's show with Mark. Shout out to my man, Mark Moschatelli, for joining me yesterday. And he'll be back on tomorrow, back at our regular 8 a.m. start time. But after the game, you always have, when you win a game and the game ends, you have the little victory lineup and everyone shakes hands and whatnot. And Mercado had come back out for the handshake. And Kyle Schwarber went about and grabbed Mercado from the back or middle of the pack of players and put him in the front of the line to make sure everybody shook his hand. That's vibes. That's leadership. That's a family team culture. Something we don't see often in sports. Yeah, he's the young, he's the rookie, he's the kid, no expectations, but he went out there and pitched a damn fine game, and he deserved the recognition. So Kyle Schwarber, the leader he is, made sure to get Mercado the recognition from his teammates that he rightfully deserved. And that's something that Schwarber does. I mean, he's like the father figure of the players. Bryce Harper's the fired up guy. I always say, like, what was so special about 93 is, and I'm not kind of comparing the players because different styles of players, but you had 3 lock solid leaders on that team in Lenny Dykstra, Darren Dalton, and John Kruk, all led different ways. This team has 3 leaders, maybe more, but 3 leaders in Kyle Schwarber, in Bryce Harper, in JT Realmuto that lead in certain ways, all differently, but they lead in certain ways. JT has got that Darren Dalton that you don't want to disappoint him vibe. Bryce Harper is that fiery personality that leads with his play on the field and his passion. Kyle Schwarber is that guy that you don't want to be pulled aside from, but also make sure you're propped up when things are going good. But when things are going bad, you don't want to cross paths with them. Different vibes, different players, different styles, but this locker room has 3 strong leaders in it. And I kind of feel like no obstacle is too hard for this Phillies team to overcome. You know, you lose Trey Turner, you got over it. You got through it. You've lost Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and JT Realmuto right now. And they're getting over it. And it's something special right there when that's what happens. Something special when that's the way this team can manage adversity. And I love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. What's up, Jack? How you doing? I really hope Phillies are not in lockstep with you about Marchand. A backup catcher gets too many starts to keep a guy just for rah-rah value. Marchand is the best defensive catcher on this team. I mean, I respect your opinion, Jack. I do. I respect everybody's opinion on this show. I don't think he gets that many. Backup catchers don't get that many starts to make it that big of a deal, especially at this point of the season. I mean, JT Realmuto starts on average about 130 games a year. So it just in the big picture, not take this year out of the equation in general. If he plays 130, that means you got 32 starts that you need a backup catcher for. It's not that big of a deal. And honestly, go ahead and Google search what the Phillies' record is when Garrett Stubbs starts. I vaguely remember reading it. It's pretty solid. It might be better than Marchand's. Marchand may be the better catcher, but Stubbs is a bigger part. And yeah, you know, rah-rah value, I get it. I've seen people tweet things like that and put things like that on social media, and I get it. You don't want a rah-rah guy. But in a locker room, especially a baseball locker room, when you are together 200, well, counting spring training, maybe 250 days of the year, you got to have fun. You got to have those lighthearted moments. You got to have a guy that, when it's getting tense, can lighten the mood. And yeah, Stubbs ain't a great catcher, but he is a service. Just think about all the backup catchers we've had over the years, Jack. Chris Coast and, you know, Turkey Bacon and Jake Knapp. Go way back. Go Todd Pratt. We can go Steve Lake. Yeah, I know backup catchers from the early 90s. None of them were great catchers, but they all brought something to the table. And I think Garrett Stubbs does bring something to the table. Plus, he's probably the best bunter on the team as well. But come playoff time, it doesn't even matter because, you know, Marchand wouldn't be playing in the playoffs. Neither will Stubbs. So it doesn't matter. Now, if we got to the playoffs, and God forbid, knock on wood, JT Realmuto would go down for a stretch of the playoffs, yeah, I'd rather Marchand starting than Stubbs in the playoffs. But that's not a bridge we're worried about at this point. Dude, any baseball player that gets the nickname Turkey Bacon, like, I love it. Dude, Lehigh Valley did, like, Turkey Bacon night and had, like, turkey bacon hats, like, customized for all the players for the game. Man, the string of backup catchers we've had in our lifetime with the Phillies it's extraordinarily like random name. Like I love Todd Pratt. Sal Fasano, he was a backup catcher here for a little while. Stubbs, the record for the Phillies all time when Stubbs starts is 67-53. So Jack, there you go. Thanks, Statistician 2.0, because Kyle hasn't been doing my stat check. We got a special guest joining us here. Holy crap! I'm just rolling along, and I heard the beep, and I'm like, "What is going on here?" And we got from Philly Press Box Radio the great Jim Chesko. How you doing? Happy 4th of July to you.
Happy 4th, Phil. Enjoying my coffee. No Bloody Marys for me, unfortunately. Coffee will have to do.
Got the coffee. We're double fisting this morning.
Love it. Very nice that you're doing this show in honor of your father.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's one of those things that I've learned to live and not accept, but handle, that part of my life. But something about this year saying, someday, a couple days ago, I'm like, I lived 18 years with him and 25 years without him. And that number really just, struck a chord with me. So I wanted to dedicate this to him. And my first tattoo was a Phillies tattoo in the honor of my dad. And so that's why I'm talking so much baseball today, because there's nothing like going to a ball game with your dad or you with your kids and stuff like that. And those memories are things that have, stayed the strongest in me over the last 25 years. Going to Fanatics birthday games, because that was a must circle on the calendar, going to the Fanatic birthdays, and celebrations, going to the 700 level of the vet and working our way down, into the lower level throughout the game. They're the things that always ring true. So I appreciate that, Jim.
Yeah, it makes me realize how fortunate I was. A lot of people didn't get to spend as much time with their dads as I did. My dad lived to the ripe age of 97, just passed about 3.5 years ago. So I got to spend, 60 plus years with my dad. So I was very fortunate. So, here's to all the great dads out there, by the way.
Absolutely. No offense. This is not a knock on moms, but moms get all the love. Dads don't get enough of the love. Let's show the dads the love today. So let's do that for my dad.
Especially on the 4th of July, since it's the dads who do most of the grilling, on the holiday.
What is on the Jim Chesko barbecue today?
I believe we're just having the basic hamburgers and hot dogs today, keeping it very simple. Just my mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and maybe one or two other relatives coming over. I'll be in the pool and probably having a few beers along the way. We talked about beer last time I was on with you, Phil, and I did, in fact, get the Philly Standard, the Kyle Schwarber. Very basic beer, but it's a good tailgate beer, and so I'll be popping a few of these today.
We have a beer. My wife did the beer run yesterday, and when I got home from work last night, she's like, "Oh, and did you know they made a Kyle Schwarber beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard about it." She's like, "Well, I bought a 12-pack, and it's in the fridge." So I haven't tried it yet. It's up there for today. We'll be cracking that in about 2 hours there.
Yeah, nothing fancy, but, very drinkable, very crushable for sure.
Hey, I love good craft beers, but you have to have also drinkable tailgate beers as well. Exactly. I've just, discovered the garage beer because of the Kelsey brothers, and that is also a very drinkable, good beer. So we have a little of that. We got a little bit of the Philly Standard. We'll have that. We're gonna move Roseman TV out to the deck today. We're gonna watch Phillies baseball. We're gonna drink beers. We're gonna barbecue. So let me ask you, thoughts on the Phillies? We're talking about two things right now. We've been talking a lot about Alec Boehm getting his first All-Star nomination, and now all of a sudden somehow we got on backup catchers with Garrett Stubbs, and how I think Garrett Stubbs does provide value to this team. And we got a couple people in the comments saying that they would rather Marchand stay. So thoughts on those two topics?
First of all, looking forward to getting JT back. Absolutely. As far as Marchand versus Stubbs, they're both quality backups. So I don't know what happens when JT does get back. But as you said, Stubbs is a very important guy in the clubhouse. I mean, he brings all that energy and organizes all the fun festivities from what we hear. So give Stubbs credit for that. Plus, he has actually been playing very well lately when he's been in there. And then now Marchand all of a sudden showing he's got a little power, 3 home runs, and he crushed a couple of them, including the one last night. So that's good to see. It's a nice problem to have, a decision. What are you going to do when JT gets back? So either way, you can't go wrong.
No, absolutely. And then obviously, 2 great awards given to our young, and, missed a saying about our, for a long time, our farm system was really bad, but now you've got all these young kids, specifically Sanchez and Boehm, getting the recognition they rightfully deserve. Boehm getting his first All-Star. Hell, after seeing him get Pitcher of the Month and looking really deep and close at his stats, I wouldn't be shocked if Christopher Sanchez gets a little, recognition with an All-Star game nom as well. It's really special to watch some of these young kids play such a vital role on a team that's got a lot of $300 million superstars on it as well.
Sanchez has been terrific. 3-0 in June, ERA of 1.6 or something like that. The walk to strikeout ratio, very, very good. He only gave up, I think, 1 home run the entire month. He gets a lot of ground balls, which leads to a lot of double plays. So, boy, for a fourth starter, he's been fantastic. And how about the fact that both he and Suarez have gotten Pitcher of the Month awards, where the top 2 guys, Wheeler and Nola, have not. And, they're not bad either.
Yeah, it's not like Wheeler or Nola have been terrible pitchers.
No.
Hell, I mean, you can literally make the entire all-star pitching roster just out of Phillies pitchers. Like, that's how good the pitching has been overall, outside of the fifth spot, although Mercado did look really good. I don't know if you caught it a few minutes ago. I was talking about how Schwarber, that leadership role. Did you see the video of what he did after the game 1 against the Cubs?
Yeah.
Taking Mercado from the back of the line, putting him to the front of the handshake line. That's like special vibes. Like, it really gives me 93 vibes of just how tight, not totally 2 different teams, but the locker room connection. And not every team, not every player, not every leader would take someone like Mercado and put him to the front of the line there to give him the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, I love this team. They seem like they're a real close-knit bunch. And, I love the leadership of guys like Schwarber and even Stubbs, who I mentioned, and Harper, of course. So I'm thinking big things for this team. We had Dan Baker on our show last night, the Phillies' great PA announcer, and he's optimistic that the Phillies will win at least 103 games this season, which would be an all-time franchise record, and would make me some money, too, since I took the over 90. So, that'd be nice.
I won't lie. I've been very pessimistic about this Phillies team, in the offseason, the last couple of years. I did not. Like, I knew this Phillies team was going to be good, but I did not think this Phillies team would be this elite, this good, this long. Like, this is literally they're shaping up to be almost, start to finish the best team in baseball. They had a couple weeks to start the season where they weren't that great, but that was it. I mean, it's special. 105 wins is 100% in the cards, because you see it when, even with these injuries that are happening, like, everything says they should have a letdown right now in this little stretch of the season, but they just Sanchez, boom. You got guys left and right stepping up in these moments, and you love to see it, because that next man up mentality that you talk about in sports doesn't always really work or hold true, but it's working and holding true here right now with this Phillies team.
Yeah, you mentioned Bohm, by the way. I wanted to congratulate him on making the All-Star team as a starter for the first time. And what a season, man. 70 RBI at this point would put him on a pace for, 135 or so. Mm-hmm. So, man, what a story he has been ever since, as you mentioned, the whole I hate this effing place thing.
Yeah, no, I said that at the beginning of the show. Like, it's just something special, like, to watch. Like, he was so close to the Rookie of the Year his rookie year. That was the short COVID year, I believe. Yeah. I think he finished second place that year. Then he has the IF and hate this place. Now, 3 years later, he's a starter in the All-Star game. He might lead the league or come close to leading the league in RBIs this year. I mean, it's insane to see the effort this kid has put forth to, become one of the elite baseball players in baseball right now. I mean, you love to see that those downward parts of a career not affect the big picture.
And some people question whether he can be a cleanup hitter because he doesn't hit, 30, 40 home runs. He's knocking in 135, or at least he's on pace for that this year. And he's a doubles machine. So I don't care if he hits the home runs. He's going to finish with around 20, it looks like. If you're knocking the runs in, you're a cleanup hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts on today's game? We obviously have Christopher Sanchez going today. And I always have to look at the Cubs pitcher's name because I badly pronounce it anyway, but Jameson Taillon, I think is how you say it. Actually a really solid pitcher, having a good season for the Cubs, but a guy that was a really good prospect with the Pirates years ago, played with the Yankees for a little bit. It's going to be another hard game to win because you've got a talented pitcher, Adam, going out there for the Cubs, and I'll be curious. I expect Christopher Sanchez to not let the award and recognition go to his head, but you never know how a kid's going to react to that recognition the first time. So I do think it's going to be a tough game. I did make some bets for today, Adam. I know you're a big bettor. I bet the Phillies. I parlayed the Phillies winning money line with Christopher Sanchez striking out at least 7 batters. And then I threw a little buck or two on a Brandon Marsh home run and a little buck or two on a Cody Clemens home run. So I do see them winning similar to last night, like 5-3, 5-4, something like that. Thoughts? Can the Phillies sweep the Cubs and get this victory today?
Absolutely, they can. The Cubs have been kind of reeling of late, and I'm not going to bet against Christopher Sanchez after winning the Pitcher of the Month and getting the new contract. The news of the new contract certainly didn't hurt him last week.
Absolutely.
So I would bet on the Phils too, and I just may do that myself.
Hey, why not? It's beer, it's barbecue, it's baseball, it's the 4th of July. Let's just add another B into it and add betting into the day of fun festivities. So why not have a little fun today?
Yeah, you mentioned the TV outside. We got a new pool shed this year and put a nice big TV in there, and it's visible from the pool. So I'm going to be floating in the pool, drinking a beer, 2:20 this afternoon, watching the Phillies on the TV from the pool. So can't wait for that.
I bought a smaller, very lightweight smart TV that moved from the basement to the garage when it's raining outside to the deck when it's nice out. I just like to have that extra TV that I could float around to wherever I want. Because you never know where you want to hang out and watch a baseball game. The garage sometimes. You never know.
Absolutely. And hey, Phil, I'm gonna wrap up quickly.
Yeah, I appreciate it,
but I want to have you on our show in a couple of weeks if we can arrange that.
Absolutely, we can arrange that. You send me a message, I will be there for you. No doubt whatsoever. I will come on with you guys.
Oh, book it. Let's do it right now. July 17th, 7 p.m. Phil on Philly.
July 17th. You'll have to text me that one so I don't forget, but I will do that with you.
I'll be in touch. All right, man.
Have a good one. Happy 4th of July, Jim. Appreciate you.
Thanks. See ya.
Yep. Thanks. Guys, that was Jim. Make sure you guys check out Philly Press Box Radio. One of the best shows right there. I mean, 10 plus years of doing it. The guy's great. The guy is great guest. And as Adam said earlier, great guest having Dan Baker on last night, The Voice. That was fantastic right there. Some of these other comments here, no one expected Phillies to be this good. Absolutely. Like when you survive these kind of injuries, and we'll move on from baseball in a few minutes because I do want to bring the Giants and the Eagles and Saquon Barkley and all that into this conversation today and talk a little football because what else is American? Baseball and football. It is mind-blowing that they're able to survive multiple runs of injuries on this team so effectively. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have gone down. Marsh, Trey Turner, JT, Bryce, Kyle Schwarber. All these guys are going down. And they're still winning. They're still winning, and I love to see it. So, yeah, I got 5-3. We're just going to match yesterday's score. Again, I think a 5-3 victory today. It's going to be it's going to be a nail-biter, but it's going to be a great one. That's what I got. Ball is the 5th B. What? No, that says bail. Bail is the 5th B. Beer, baseball, barbecue, burgers, bail. Gotcha. If you drink too much beer and eat too many burgers and you do something stupid, you might need some bail money. We already did that with him when he was a guest on the show like a week or two ago. Just so you know. We might have others. I don't know. I threw it out there to the entire EOP team, anybody, even Mitchie Poo, if they wanted to pop in, they were. We're having fun today. This is just a fun show. It's the 4th of July. There's no work. There's nothing happening. Let's just enjoy the day. We'll see who shows up, if anybody else in the comments next. And someone I haven't had on, I will ask them. I will. I did see, there's this site on Twitter that I absolutely love that does movie, storytelling. And they did one on Back to the Future. And everybody knows that, Marty McFly wasn't always played by Michael J. Fox, but there were so many other things in that thread yesterday that they put out there. I love it. It's great. They need to do a Goodfellas Godfather one though on their site. Is there a B word for emergency room? We got lots of people in there during the 4th. So you work in. I think I remember you saying you work in an emergency room before. I didn't remember until you just said that. B word for emergency. Blown off fingers. It's not a word. It's a sentence that starts with B. Is that it? Like, I know this makes me sound un-American, but fireworks annoy me. Like, I don't find the excitement. I know adults still love them. I know people love fireworks, but they're dangerous, especially done by amateurs and by Joe Schmoes drinking beers and setting off fireworks. Secondly, they're terrible for dogs and animals, and I've got 4 dogs. So, you know, oh, I like that one, Muffler Mike. Code blue is the blue word. That's right. There you go. I like that one. I work in hospital IT. Gotcha. Yeah, that's it there. See, we got another special guest joining us here in a second. 4th of July is about tradition, which means it will be getting drunk and fighting my cousin Willard. Yeah. Well, see, it's just going to be my wife and I and the 4 dogs today. Look at this. We got the man, Philly Sports, Ryan Reese. Good morning. This is what morning show talk looks like.
Yeah, no, this is great. I could get used to this. Let me tell you, for sure.
Yeah, don't get any ideas about stealing my time slot here, Ryan. Okay?
No,
don't be getting any ideas.
No. I'm an afternoon drive kind of guy, if you will.
All right, you're the afternoon drive guy. I'm the morning, the wake up guy. There you go. That's when we get to 24-hour programming here on EOP. We have an afternoon drive and a morning drive guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
The lowest ratings go overnight. So who's that going to be? Mitchie Poo?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely Mitchie Poo. So we're talking 4th of July. We're talking baseball. I also want to talk football today, and you're here. You know, you got your Eagles hat on. I'm sure you've seen the video clips, if not the whole episode, from Hard Knocks about Saquon Barkley and the Giants. You've seen it, right? You're shaking your head, yes?
I have.
All right. So I just think it is so hilarious how this scenario is playing out with Saquon Barkley and that video that the Giants talk about a poorly run organization. You got the GM wanting to get rid of him, the scouts and the owners saying, "But why?" And him saying, "Well, let's invest in Daniel Jones." Saquon Barkley is actually even more special, maybe, than we realize.
Yeah, it was, honestly, I was sitting there watching it, and half the time I was shaking my head. Half the time I was kind of chuckling. It is a definite comedy of errors with the New York Giants and that whole front office. It's I love it. I mean, it's awesome. They are not going to be relevant for any time soon.
You know, them blaming that they need to invest in the offensive line to protect Daniel Jones. Well, what about Saquon Barkley? Now Saquon Barkley gets to play behind arguably one of the best offensive lines.
Sure.
Like, when I watched those clips literally like 3 or 4 of them, like 3 or 4 times yesterday to really soak in the whole entire thing there. And I'm like, this might not be AJ Brown's offense. This might not be Devontae Smith's offense. Saquon Barkley may be the guy that puts up the biggest numbers on this entire team next year because he's that special. And they even said it. The owner said, well, what's our identity going to be if we lose Saquon Barkley? He was their entire team. And we have big stars on this team, but maybe Saquon trumps all the other stars on this team.
Well, yeah, listen, you bring up a great point. Saquon's now going to be running behind arguably, like 10 times better of an offensive line than he's ever had. So you have that. You also have the fact that you have a quarterback who can do things. You have 2 wide receivers who can actually do things. You have a tight end who can actually do things. So you have all of these weapons. And if we actually are able to run the ball, and Kellen Moore is a guy that likes to utilize the running back.
Mm-hmm.
So all signs are pointing to, a big blow up year for Saquon Barkley. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up with like 1,600 yards on the ground, 400 yards through the air, 10 plus total touchdowns, easy. I mean, this could be something that is just silly. And we've been crying to run the ball. Yeah. I mean, people have been sitting outside of the NovaCare complex, run the damn ball, and we're going to do it. And we're going to show how we do it in Philly.
The way I'm looking at it, it's like you can't – this is not a knock on DeAndre Swift or Miles Sanders. They're clearly multiple steps below the talent that Saquon Barkley is.
Sure.
But so, like, you can't stack the box against Saquon Barkley because you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Right.
You've got Jalen Hurts that can do his thing. But then also, you can't double-team A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith because if you do that, then that's less in the box to stop Saquon Barkley. Yeah. I mean, if Kellen Moore, I still have question marks about Kellen Moore. Is he better than Brian Johnson? Sure. But we're going to see. It's not like he's lit the world on fire with the Cowboys and the Chargers.
Right.
But he's obviously a very smart offensive mind. If he cannot succeed, if Kellen Moore does not become a head coach next season, whether it's with the Eagles, God forbid, that something, there happens, or, if we are successful, he will get a job somewhere else. If he's not a head coach in 2025, that means Kellen Moore's a bad offense coordinator because the talent is there.
Yeah. I mean, you make a great point. With all that talent, I mean, I'm sure he's foaming at the mouth, wanting to get these guys out there. So, yeah, he has zero excuses to absolutely flourish. And we should easily be a top 5 offense. We should be scoring, top 5 points. Everything down the line should be a top 5 for this offense because we have all of the pieces.
And I love the line from the GM Joe Showing from the Giants. Like, you can't pay a quarterback $40 million and then a running back 12. Well, we're paying a quarterback $50 million and a running back like 12 and 2 wide receivers like 30 and an offensive line loaded. So, it just made me smile so much seeing the Giants suffer so much at the loss. And it just makes me want Saquon Barkley to be that dominant force even more. And it just brings a smile to my face.
It really does. And it shows you the difference between, somebody like Howie and this guy. Is this guy is very limited in his thought process and, sees only what's in front of him. Where I feel Howie is one thing he's really good at is kind of seeing those next steps. And he's really been, ahead of the curve in some of these things, and especially with re-signing. And, he got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith locked down. And then everybody and their mother and their humongous wide receivers started, upping them, largest contract. And we're sitting here looking pretty darn good now.
And that's the special thing about Howie Roseman and the Eagles. And, I puts him head and shoulders above all the GMs in the league, but also in our city is because he beats teams to the curve. Yeah. He does, and by beating teams to the curve on someone like AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts. Hell, Jalen Hurts signed before any of the other big contracts. I know he gets a lot of money, but let's be honest, he's not making that much more money than Daniel Jones, which is kind of shocking and insane when you think about it. When he beats everybody else to the curve and then the salary cap keeps going up, that gives him the opportunity to pounce and maybe slightly overpay for a Saquon Barkley. Because, Saquon Barkley and running backs, you don't typically pay 27-year-old running backs that kind of money. But because of the way he manages the rest of the team, it gives him the opportunity to make swing for the fence moves like this. Something like the Sixers can't do that. The Flyers don't do that often. I think it's something special that gives there. So, it gives him the opportunity to, it might bomb. Saquon Barkley might bomb. I mean, probably not. But he could get hurt. He's got injury history. It could bomb. But it's been given the opportunity to do that.
Right. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Kenny Gainwell love in the chats here.
It's one person. It's Kenny Gainwell's burner account, K1.
Okay. Right,
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. He's been hyping up Kenny Gainwell since the day he's been drafted. So.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I'm pretty positive, K1. The K stands for Kenny. That's just my personal expectation or guess there. You do realize we are building a Cowboy-style offense. Quarterback, smart dual threat, 2-star wide receivers, 1-star running back, top 5. So we should be scoring high and without a JJ. I believe Duck is talking about the old school Cowboys when they were winning Super Bowls with this. When they had that huge offensive line, when they had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. Why can't I think of their tight end during that era?
Novacek, was it?
Novacek. That was a well-built team like that.
Sure.
And you just hope the defense does just enough.
I mean, that's honestly, I think, is what we need to, I guess, put our eggs into that basket of concern is we have a lot of question marks. Every phase of the defense. You have essentially a new defensive line. You have a guy, Huff, who in spurts has been really good, but we don't know. We have never seen him play a lot of snaps, and he is going to get that opportunity here. You have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, who Carter looked like a world beater, and Davis was looking pretty good early in the season, and they fell off because of, conditioning or rookie wall or whatever you want to call it. And Sweat had a terrible year last year. So there's a lot of concerns there. Linebackers, I'm not even going to get into. And the defensive backfield, you have a lot of new pieces, you have a lot of youth. I actually am very excited about the cornerback room and how it's going to settle, because we have like 13 corners that are halfway decent, and we're probably only going to keep 7. It's going to be a bloodbath, and it's going to be there's going to be lots of fans here that are going to be very upset with who they cut.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. I mean, I even was like dabbling in my mind, and it's not going to happen. Obviously, it's Darius Slay and somebody else. Right. But I even dabbled in my mind. Howie Roseman is a progressive thinker, and he's always thinking now, but also 3 years from now, sure. That if Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean have great camps, that if some team loses a starting cornerback, that there's even it's not a high percent, but maybe a 5-10% chance that Darius Slay might get traded at some point before the start of the season, because you invested a lot in 2 young cornerbacks, and it's not like Darius Slay was an elite Pro Bowl level last year.
No, you're right. I've thought about that as well, and
it's not something I'm saying is going to happen. Right, it's just that wouldn't shock me.
When you look past Slay, you have Isaiah Rodgers, who again a year removed, but was looking very studly. You have Quinion, you have Cooper, 2 rookies that we're very high on. You have Keely Ringo, who I thought did really good. Then you have that next tier of the Eli Ricks, the Josh Jobs, the Mekhi Garner, the I could probably name about 8 more. But I would be all right with trading Slay for a pick next year or some help at linebacker.
Teams get desperate. Fringe playoff teams get desperate in camp when someone gets injured. Hence, when we traded away Sam Bradford in 2016 at the end of camp. What do we get? Like a first and a third, or a first and a fourth?
That's a fourth, I think.
First and a fourth for Sam Bradford at that point. I mean, you just never know. I'm not saying Darius Slay will fetch that, but someone gets desperate. A team that's fighting for a last playoff spot loses their starting cornerback. They might call Howie and be like, "Yo, I'll give you a third or a 4th round pick. You tell me how." If you're Howie Roseman and Quinn, and this is all precedented on Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean having great camps.
Sure.
They're having great camps. You're confident in Isaiah Rodgers as a starter, and someone calls and says, "I will give you a 3rd round pick right now for Darius Slay." Are you saying no?
Honestly, if I'm that confident in what we have after Slay, then yeah, I would. The only concern I would really have is who is the vet, in that room. Obviously Bradbury's out. I mean, I guess
he's still there technically.
I mean, technically, right? But
I spent a show about 2 months ago saying that it's more valuable to keep Bradbury than Slay, because you can actually trade Slay for something. Bradbury, you just basically have to cut.
Yeah, you can't do anything with that contract. So, I mean, Avonte Maddox then I guess becomes your vet in the room, but he might not even make the roster. And then who's the next one up after that? Zach McPherson, who's played about 2 snaps.
Yeah.
That's the only
Big Al checking in from the Clifton Heights 4th of July parade. That is awesome. I used to go to that back when I was a child, back growing up in the Holy Cross area. So yeah, that's awesome right there. My old stomping grounds as well. Sometimes most people, Ryan, I don't know if you know this, most people that grew up in the Clifton Heights, Springfield, Holy Cross area, because when you're from Delco, it's which parish are you from, not which town. Right. Yeah. They can't get out. And the Zafiris are just like that. The entire Zafiri family. I went to school with his sister. The whole entire Zafiri family is still stuck in Delco because you can't take Clifton Heights out of those people. You just can't.
Yeah, I believe me. In fact, I was up there for Delco Day a little bit ago, and met. I've met the Zafiri family, but I think I met the sister, and yeah, it was fun.
This is an interesting comment from Mister here. Zeke, Eckler, and now Saquon. Kellen Moore has been lucky, to have a lot of great running backs, but I don't think he's ever had an offensive line paired with a running back, paired with the wide receivers like he's had here in Philly. That's just my thought process. I mean, the Cowboys had a good offensive line. They had 1 or 2 good players, right. Troy Martin and I can't think of the other guy's name. But the Chargers definitely didn't have a great offensive line. So, there's that aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
Injuries, they're all going to be needed at some point. Yeah, I get it. I get it. There are injuries.
Yeah,
That's fine. But you got to look big picture as little picture as well. So Ryan, I don't know how much time you got here this morning, but before you jump out, you can stay as long as you want. I'm not kicking you out or anything.
No, I get it. I get the hint. Let me get on out of there.
No. Well, I was sitting there rambling on with Jim a few minutes ago, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, he wants to get out of here. So you're allowed to stay as long as you want. I need to know to make sure I get in anybody that pops on today. What's on the Ryan barbecue today?
Oh, I'm pretty traditional. Burgers, dogs. I do have some Italian sausage.
Now you're talking.
I'll probably do. I'm pretty sure I have some kielbasa. Probably throw some chicken on there as well.
Literally, just whatever's in the fridge, empty it all out on the grill.
Yeah, I mean, I always have stuff like that just lying around, so it's pretty much, I mean, I also I entertain quite a bit here. I have like a pretty nice little backyard deck situation going on, and so I always have, beer is always stocked full of, our fridge is always stocked full of beer, always have
my fridge is always 90% filled with beer, 10% filled with food, just to kind of, because I don't entertain much anymore. Plus my new house, like I just haven't had time to work on the outside space, so I can't even really entertain outside of my new house yet. So you're lucky that you got a pool, Nooms. You're lucky.
Yeah, right.
I would love to be able to take a dip in a pool today. I'm thinking we have a little kiddie pool we use for the dogs. I'm thinking of filling up the kiddie pool just to put my feet in today. I might do it. Put the Phillies game on, feet in the kiddie pool, drink a cold beer. That is what the 4th of July is all about, right?
Yeah. I heard you say you were going to bring the TV outside.
Absolutely.
I'm literally looking at it right now. I have what I call my tailgate TV.
Yes.
TV I'll bring down for some of the tailgates, and I'll use that one. I'll probably plug it in outside, get the griddle working, and the cornhole flowing. The beers.
I like the name, the tailgate TV. That's what I might start calling this one, because it's literally been in 5 different rooms of this house since we moved in. Including the garage. It just goes everywhere. So I love it. Steve says there should be an end of summer EOP barbecue at your house.
All right, let's go. I'm down. I mean, every year.
You have a pool too. You have a pool too. Oh, geez.
No, I mean, I wish I had. I have the.
You got a pool.
Well, I don't. Unless you want to start digging, or we can inflate some of those, kiddie pools. But
let me tell you something. Those Intech, those cheap $200 Intech pools, they look ghetto, but they work. And I've gotten them multiple times throughout the summer. So,
there you go. Maybe I have to look to invest. But
they are. Blanche said it's not a 4th of July without chicken and beer. That's on my menu. Chicken is on the menu today. I got some skewers marinating, and I got a lot of beer in the fridge. And there's only my wife and I drinking it. So there's a lot. If I'm late on tomorrow's morning show, it's just because I drank too much beer tonight. Mitchie Poo, what is up, my man? How are you? I'm surprised Mitchie Poo hasn't jumped in. I told him his ban was lifted for today, and I'm 58 minutes into this show, and he hasn't joined. So maybe Mitchie Poo just doesn't want to be here.
I thought you were going to regret that heavily. I thought he was going to be there right at 9:01, stay all the way to 10:30.
Okay. I want to ask you the question. Something that I brought up. I don't know if you caught any of this week's shows, but something I've talked about on 2 shows this week. With the Eagles, and I love your thoughts. And I've been told I'm wrong by everybody so far on this one. And it's that I am more concerned, Eagles-wise, with Cam Jurgens filling in for Jason Kelce than I am with Tyler Steen taking over for Cam Jurgens at right guard. I'm more concerned about the loss of that center and Cam Jurgens taking over that massive role. Not the ability to block or spike or hike the ball. The role that Kelce played and Cam Jurgens taking it over, everyone's like, well, no, Steen's more inexperienced. Jurgens was drafted for this. I get all that, but I feel like people don't really understand how much Jason Kelce did on that offensive line. Yeah. And that scares me. That's my biggest offensive concern, and everyone says I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I think you have a legit, reason to feel that way. I think the difference between Kelce and Cam is a lot greater than the difference between Cam and Steen.
That's what I'm getting at.
And the center, again, is one of those positions that I feel like the general fan doesn't realize that does so much for that offensive line. Calls out, the defense, calls out, where people are, helps to, get his line mates in check as well. And I'm not saying that Cam Jurgens can't do that because he did play center, obviously, in college. But, again, it's you're coming from a Hall of Fame eventually player to a guy that's, had 50 snaps at center in the pros. So it's a big drop. And
I think people are misunderstanding. And I'm going to tease this because this is going to be tomorrow's topic. We're not going to discuss this today, but I'm teasing tomorrow. Since we talked about that adjustment there, defensively, are we more concerned about, Jordan Davis / Jalen Carter taking over for Fletcher Cox or Bryce Huff taking over for Hassan Reddick? We're going to keep, we're about 2.5 weeks from camp start, and we're going to keep doing these, what's a bigger concern threads, and that's tomorrow. But I'm glad someone at least sees that it's not just straight.
Oh, absolutely.
Cam Jurgens is obviously a better lineman than Steen at this point. But the responsibilities that he has to take over versus Steen, it's a massive difference right there.
Absolutely. You have a legit case to make for that being the bigger concern. I can see it both ways. I understand where people are coming from, but listen, if Cam falls on his face, that's going to be a lot bigger of an impact than if Tyler Steen falls on his face.
You also have 2 or 3 guys that could fill in for Tyler Steen if he falls. Who's the backup center right now on this team?
Hennessy, probably.
Yes. I don't even know if he's a lock to make the team, honestly, at this point.
I mean, I would assume so, just given his versatility and who we have. But I mean, I would assume that's why they brought him in, because he does have NFL starting, caliber or starts under his belt essentially at center. He can play guard, and I think he absolutely has to be the backup, because if they're even thinking about moving Landon Dickerson, this whole season's a cluster.
Yeah. Hold on. What? Moving Landon? Oh, moving Landon Dickerson to center.
Right, because he, Landon obviously.
Gotcha. And I get, everybody says trust and stout you. I get it. But we're not talking about turning Jordan Mailata into a left tackle or, fixing Tyler Steen or making Landon Dickerson. We're not talking about. We're talking about replacing Jason Kelce here, not a eventual Hall of Famer. They should change the rule and let him into the Hall of Fame this year, because that's how great he was. So that's what we're talking about here. And that's why I don't think Cam Jurgens can't do the job. I think he'll be fine eventually, but I think there'll be a heck of a lot more speed bumps in the early part of the season, which is also, it's much, I don't know about you, but the schedule looks a lot harder to me early in the season than later in the season.
Travel, it's a lot of
more road games,
Monday night. Again, it's tough. You're going down to Brazil. You come back. You get an extra day, which is, that's so nice of you. We just traveled to another freaking country, and so then, you have the Monday night game at home, and then then you're on the road. Then you're on the road. Then you have a bye. Then it's you finally have a realistic home game against the Browns. But it's tough, and it's not like you're playing crap teams. Like Green Bay's a decent team. Atlanta is a much improved team. Still,
there's people that think Green Bay is a playoff team again this year, and people are putting Jordan Love up to these high standards. I think Cam will be a star center, but not immediately. And I love this comment from Mitchie Poo here. The O-line depends on Lane Johnson's health. Think about this. Everybody that we've slotted into right guard over the years, young Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen at times last year, with Kelce and Lane Johnson on each side. Kelce can help. Lane Johnson can help. Right. Now Tyler Steen needs help. He's got Lane Johnson when healthy on one side, but Cam Jurgens got a full plate of things to learn himself. He can't be helping Tyler Steen. You know what I mean? So you went from having 2 Hall of Famers bookending that position to a Hall of Famer and another person doing it for the first time in the pros. So I think it's a bigger issue than people realize. I have full faith that it'll work itself out eventually. I have full faith as the offensive line as a whole, but I think it's something that, everyone complains that all the radio stations talk the same thing. Is Jalen Hurts a problem with Nick Sirianni? I bring something different to the table, and everyone tells me to stop talking about it. So I can't win with these people.
No, well, listen, you're absolutely right. The 94 ones, the 97.5, all they're doing is they're just driven by what gets people calling in and yelling. And the Hurt Sirianni thing is an easy one. It's they just make crap up, and it's awful, and honestly it's ruining sports media in my opinion. But you're right. It's you kind of, people do gravitate towards that because that's all they know. So it's hard for people to kind of get off of that. But
K1 wanting Mitchie Poo to join, and I see that he just joined in the bottom. I'm going to click him in a second here. Just understand.
That sounds like my cue to leave. I wouldn't want to interrupt your private.
Well, what I was going to say, K1 wants me to not talk Sixers basketball anymore. But when Mitchie,
what do you think
I'm going to have to bring up the Sixers with Mitchie Poo because of his infatuation with Tobias Harris. So K1,
right.
You wanting Mitchie Poo is bringing the Sixers back into the fold.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, thank you very much for joining me today. Happy 4th of July. Have a great day. Drink an extra beer or two for me today. I greatly appreciate it.
I absolutely will. And again, I was touched about the beginning of the show. Obviously with your dad and all that. So shout out to him, you, and what a great show. And honestly, if people aren't following this show and listening every morning, what the hell are you doing with your mornings? Get yourself a cup of coffee, listen to Phil talk about what's happening every day. So I'm out of here. You can follow me right here. Other than that, I'm out. Have a great 4th, everybody, and I will see you all next week.
Yep. See you, Ryan. Yeah. All right, we're taking Ryan off, and we're bringing in the next guy, number 3. You saved the third time's a charm, right? Third guest of the day. Yep. Third time's a charm. The ban has been lifted, and Mitchie Poo is here. Look at that. Yeah. Mitchie Poo entered the chat. That's right, my boy Mike. Yeah, that's right. Good morning. Happy 4th of July to you, Mitch. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Doing hardcore sports network stuff. Got that out of the way. Schedule fly like an eagle. Now I'm here.
There you go. See, the work and the grind of a content creator never ends. 4th of July, while others are taking the 4th off, ELP is still going strong, right? You've got your shows. I got my show. We don't stop here, do we?
No, it never ends. It never ends, especially when you're running another network too.
Yeah. Jack's saying negative things about Kelsey. Look, he didn't have his best of his best seasons last year, but let's not bring down Jason Kelsey. He's still one of the greatest centers of all time in the history of the game. We'll just leave that at that. Real quick, Mitchie Poo, I hate to cut you off for a second, but I got to get a couple ad reads in here. I've gone now like 70 minutes and I haven't done a single one. So let me put some of our great sponsors really quickly up on the screen here. First off, SherryTickets.com. Great prices, no hidden fees, and extra 10% off with EOP10 at checkout. SherryTickets.com. Don't overpay with the rest. Save with the best. SherryTickets.com. And of course, our great friends at PhillySportsTrips.com. They got the great trip to Brazil to see the Eagles Green Bay Packers week 1, but also lots of other great full-service travel and tailgating packages for the best fans in the world, the Philadelphia sports fans. I just want to shout out these two guys real quickly. I will get to the Cherry Bomb read in a few minutes because I'll probably need a lawyer after having Mitchie Poo on the show for about 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever he's got free. But yeah, guys, make sure you're following Mitchie Poo, not just with his Hardcore Sports Network, his Fly Like an Eagles podcast. Are you doing your normal 7:15 time tonight?
Yep, right after
we'll be live at 7:15
right after the burgers.
I'm sorry?
Right after the burgers.
Right after the burgers. Mitch is my favorite. Oh, that's so sweet, Rose. That's so sweet. Brad saying happy 4th of July to you as well. Yes, Eric, Mitchie Poo is live in the house today. The man, the myth, the legend. I'm guessing I'm going to put him back on a 3-month ban after today. I'm just kidding, Mitch.
No,
I don't know what you want to touch on. We're talking Phillies. We're talking Eagles. You're my Sixers guy with Tobias Harris talk as well. What is on your mind on this 4th of July?
What is on my mind right now is the Saquon Barkley and the Hard Knocks. I could not stop laughing when I was watching that last night. I could not stop laughing.
I'll be honest, Mitch. I have not watched Hard Knocks in can't even remember how many years.
I never did.
I watched it when it first came out because it was new. It was something different. I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons of it. What are they on? Season like 10 or 12 now? Like it might
Who
be
knows?
6 or 8 years since I've watched it. But you know what? Because of the video clips I have seen on Saquon Barkley, I may actually have to go back and watch it because as I was just talking with Ryan, it doesn't pain me. It brings great joy to me to see the Giants arguing about Saquon Barkley and a majority of the Giants organization being mad that Saquon Barkley is not there in New York anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, especially how bad the field is, the offensive line is over there.
Mhm.
They couldn't build around him, and you're giving Daniel Jones $40 million.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
where does that come into play?
You pay a quarterback $40 million and a running back $12 million, yet the Eagles are paying Hurts $50 million, Saquon $12 million, and both wide receivers like $400 million, and they're still doing just fine. So you can pay your running back if you want to.
Yeah. But here's the thing with Hurts. He's already like a top quarterback in the NFC. He's the top quarterback in the NFL in general. Where is Daniel Jones? In the bottom of the barrel? Like your list, where is he in yours?
On my list, I think I might still have the list here in my my video. Yeah, there's my list.
Yeah.
I can't. Where did I put Daniel Jones?
28.
I put him at 28. I put Anthony Richardson ahead of him, Caleb Williams ahead of him. I put a lot of guys ahead of him on this list. For those that don't know, this was my ultimate quarterback rankings for this year. I did this about like a month ago. This is it. This is the ultimate quarterback list, the best one, okay, because I made it as well. But yeah, I have Daniel Jones at 28, and I think there's an argument to be made that maybe some of those other guys might be ahead of him, honestly.
I would put McCarthy there. I would put McCarthy over him.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned McCarthy. I did read some positive things coming out about J.J. McCarthy in OTAs and rookie camps and stuff like that. Harris is 100% where he belongs in Detroit. Yes. Who's better? Who would you rather? Tobias Harris back on the Sixers or the Giants GM in the Eagles front office working for the Eagles? Now you have to pick one of those.
Probably the Giants. Probably the front office for the Giants.
Nobody spell checked my list, K1. I know, but it's already been put out on social media, so I can't change it. So it is what it is.
Now.
Yeah, it's too late now. How about them Phillies right now? And 3, we've talked a lot of Phillies today, Brad, for sure. And I'm really hoping, I'm really expecting them to come out today and get a sweep of the Cubbies, which we talked about it before the week started, or in the beginning of the week before the series started, how important this series was to, at a very least, win 2 out of 3, if not sweep, because now you got 3 against the Braves, 3 against the Dodgers in the next 6 games, and you want to continue to hold or float. You want to continue to tread water till all your stars come back. And honestly, every single day, someone else is stepping up. Yesterday, Whit Merrifield, who we crush regularly, had a big knock yesterday. There's always someone stepping up on this team, and you love to see it. The next man up mentality is kind of like one of those fugazi things that's not really true, but it really is true with this Philadelphia Phillies team.
Yeah, this team is hitting all cylinders right now. I love it.
We come on, Jack. You've been bringing it's the 4th of July. We're dedicating this show to my dad, and you're bringing negativity constantly to the show. Are you trying to egg me on? Is this like Dan Silio's burner account or something like that coming at me here? Seriously. God. Daniel Jones summed up his whole career when he tripped on his own legs. 80. Yeah, exactly. Daniel Jones is. I still get weird feelings in my stomach when I think that Daniel Jones is making $40 million a year. like it just doesn't sit right. Out of all contracts, there have been a lot of bad contracts in Philadelphia sports. And this is a serious question, not a joke because we like to make Tobias Harris jokes. What's a worse contract? The Sixers contract to Tobias Harris or the Giants contract to Daniel Jones? What was the worst contract? It's a tough one because they're both atrocious.
I'm just going to say Daniel Jones, where Tobias put up 0. Daniel Jones could at least give you.
Daniel Jones has put up 3. A bunch of goose eggs before.
Yeah, but he'll get you at least the 3 points or a field goal. Tobias got you 0. Oh, Bynum.
Yeah. Bynum's always been you know what though? Andrew Bynum gets a lot of crap and rightfully so. Yeah. But if it wasn't for Andrew Bynum, the process would have never started. And who knows? Like, yeah, the process hasn't worked out, but the process has been entertaining, great content, great talking about, and it's been entertaining to watch. It's just like a depressing ending, but it's been something. If Andrew Bynum doesn't burn out here in Philly, who knows what the history of the Philadelphia 76ers would have been like.
Who knows? I mean, he shouldn't have gone bowling. Let's keep that a buck. He shouldn't have gone bowling.
The bowling stuff and the different hairstyles with Andrew Bynum was great. Daniel Jones makes me think the Manning's a fraud. They signed off on him. He would have, I mean, Eli Manning is the most overrated quarterback to win multiple Super Bowls and MVPs in the Super Bowl. And that's not a knock on Eli. I think Eli is a solid quarterback, but Eli Manning's going to get in the Hall of Fame, and he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. So,
right.
Daniel Jones is the worst. Daniel Jones might be one of the worst contracts of all time in all of sports. Like, really. Like, the fact that they committed $160 million and haven't moved off of it. Like, they could have gotten out of this contract. And they are sticking the course. And the GM is saying in Hard Knocks that they're building the team around Daniel Jones this offseason because, you can't have Saquon Barkley. It's laughable, Brad. It's laughable.
What player comes out of Duke is good in the NFL? That's what I'm waiting for.
Throwing in the NFL, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know another team that can run an eighth starter out there to throw 70% strikes, a third catcher that can. Yeah, look, the Phillies are something special right now. And you know what? I really feel, I'm confident in saying that Christopher Sanchez is going to follow up his complete game shutout, his pitcher of the month award, recognition yesterday with another dominant performance. And I'm just going to say it, Nooms, I fully expect 7 innings of 2 runs or less ball from Christopher Sanchez tonight or today. Yep. What is it? 2:30, 2:20 start time today?
It's 2:00 at that, I guess. I don't know.
Something like that. Can I ask you this? I don't know much about your baseball love. But is there a stadium in sports that you'd like? To me, the number one stadium in sports that I would like to visit to watch my home team play in is Wrigley Field. I've been to Fenway Park. I've been to Camden Yards. I've been to a few stadiums. I've never been to Wrigley Field. To me, going to Wrigley Field to watch the Phillies take on the Cubs, sitting in the bleachers in the outfield would be the ultimate sports trip for me.
For me, it would be the Miami Marlins Stadium. I forget what it's called, but just to enjoy the weather in Miami and look at just the field in general, what they did to it differently. So, yeah.
Right. And the Marlins would probably beat the Phillies because no matter how bad the Marlins are, they always give us fits. The Cubs, the Chicago to me, I've been to 50 different countries. I've never been to Chicago. You know what I mean? So, for some reason, I've never been there, and I want to go to Chicago so bad. So Andrew Bynum is the psycho girlfriend you had to get a restraining order against before you finally. Dude, where were these comments earlier in the show? This is hilarious.
You want to hear this? You guys are going to laugh. So I have this basketball, right? I got this professional basketball. It was signed by Moses Malone, RIP, who was World Be Free. It's on that. And then Andrew Bynum and Doug Collins. And I'm like, is this ball worth it? I have it upstairs. I'm like,
you got Andrew Bynum's name on it. It's probably not worth anything once that's on it. We just talked about Doug Collins the other day on this show, and I don't even remember why. When Danny DeVito's overly tall fourth nephew could run the team better than Daniel Jones. Yeah, love it. We criticize our Eagles. I've criticized Daryl Morey nonstop. But, man, then you see how other teams are run, like the Bulls, how the Bulls are run the NBA, the Giants in the NFL. It just makes you step back for a second and be like, all right, what goes on in Philly is not that bad, honestly.
It's really not. We're actually one of the lucky ones, to be honest.
Honestly. And News, if you haven't seen the video clips or the episode of Hard Knocks, they spend time in the Giants, front office talking about let's invest in the offensive line to protect Daniel Jones. And the scouts are just looking at Joe, the GM of the Giants, like, well, why couldn't we do that when we had Saquon Barkley? Like seriously. You literally wasted the first 5 years of his career. Camden Yards is a really good stadium. I've gotten to go behind the scenes at Camden Yards. It's really nice. Wrigley is legendary, but it's an awful stadium with tons of blinds. Absolutely agree with you. It's an old, beat-up stadium, but it's still a dream to go visit it and just sit in left field or center field and, try to lean over and catch a ball and, I don't know, just the atmosphere. Just to walk around those hollow grounds. Like, I don't care about Yankee Stadium because it's new, but it would have been a dream to go to old Yankee Stadium just to soak in the ghosts of baseball past that have passed through those, turnstiles and stuff like that. So that's why Wrigley Field is so important to me, just to experience the history that is there.
Yeah. What is the best stadium you've been at other than like baseball? For me, it's Madison Square Garden. That was the best.
I've never seen. Well, no, I have never seen a sporting event. I've seen Van Morrison in concert at Madison Square Garden. Fantastic concert. Side note, I don't know if you guys are Van Morrison fans. Van Morrison has this rumor that he never starts late and he never does encores at his concerts. And I learned the hard way, don't be late to your seat, because I was in line to get beer before the concert started. The line was long, and I literally got pissed because I was literally 3 minutes into his first song trying to sit down in his concert. And as soon as the concert ended, everyone chanted encore. Lights came up within 3 seconds. He walked right off the stage. No encore. But it was an amazing concert. It was a Christmas show. It was fantastic. One of the greatest concerts I've ever been to was there. Here's a question for both of you. Who has the worst quarterback, Kaepernick or Kirk Cousins? I don't know.
Probably Cap. I mean, not Cap, Kirk. I'm going Kirk.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, did Cap make it to the Super Bowl?
Kirk Cousins is an overrated quarterback, but so is Kaepernick. What's up, Steve? We got Stevie Boy joining us too here.
Yo, what's going on? I'm at work. I was like, yo, let me hop in real quick.
Does your boss know you're at work right now? Or that your boss know you're on the computer doing this right now?
I'm running the show over here at work. Everyone, all the students are on holiday, so I had to get I've been here since 3. I had to get my article in from last night's debacle of the Union game, so I had the laptop on me handy.
So, Mitchie Poo, real quick, since Steve here, let me ask you, what the hell is wrong with the Union? Why are the Union the worst team in MLS? And there was a point 2 years ago where the Union were like the second or third best team in this city, and now they've lost, not only because of Apple TV, which we've talked about before, but they've lost all momentum with how bad they played this year. Why are the Philadelphia Union so bad?
I wish I could be honest.
Every other team went out and bought people. When Messi came to the MLS, Miami started buying players. Other teams started buying players, and the Union said, no, we're good. We're just going to stay put with what we've got. They remind me of the guy who goes to work, who's been at the same company for the last 5 years, never goes out to eat with the other coworkers. The other coworkers beg him, and he brings the same packed lunch to work. That's the Union. They're bringing the same packed lunch, the same players, nothing new. And this is what you get. Everyone caught up to them, and now they're tied for last place in the East and 4th to last place in all of MLS.
It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, that's all. Everyone's calling me out for trying to talk soccer. It's okay. We don't have to talk soccer. That's for the attacking
That's
third.
all. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Are you guys doing your attacking third tonight?
Nah, we had technical difficulties on Tuesday. We were going to do it. So the way the team's performing, we're just going to call it even for the week, and we'll get back into it next Thursday.
So, Steve, what is on the Steve barbecue if you weren't working today for the 4th of July?
Ooh, even though I can't eat bread, this is always a day where I sneak in a hot dog bun with just going old fashioned hamburgers and hot dogs. Can't beat it.
I seem like Mitch. I didn't ask you what's on the Mitchie Poo barbecue today.
Same thing. Burgers.
Everybody's so basic. I got some nice chicken skewers marinating. I don't just go. I love a good burger or a hot dog at a barbecue. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I kind of think they're overrated to the extent where everybody does them. There's so much other better stuff you could throw on the grill, like some ribs, some chicken, like really good marinated chicken. Some Italian sausage. Some bratwurst. You know,
Little
you don't
broth,
have to eat a
little
hot dog.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat a hot dog, guys. You can do anything.
It's a tradition, I guess. You can't break a tradition.
This question is for Mitchie Poo, but I think Steve has to answer it though.
A guy who actually he scored last night, but even Tobias Harris can hit a three every once in a while, right? Chris
Yeah.
Donovan would be that guy.
Okay, Donovan.
For
There
the
you go.
Union.
There you go.
All right.
We got so many comments rolling in here. So many of you fall in love with these players and overlook the flaws. Could Kelsey have played right guard? Not a chance. I don't understand what some of Jack's comments are. Do we know Jack? I don't know. Where was Jack's comment before? You gave well, we've talked about this, you know, but Daniel Jones, Saquon has been successful in his career. Daniel Jones has never been successful. So, you know, we've given Saquon the excuse because he's had success with the poor line. Daniel Jones has never done anything successful. So, Jack, that's right on that. And it's not that I dislike your comments, Jack. Just, you know, I'm just trying to keep this as positive as possible on the 4th of July. That's it, right, Mitch?
We're trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine if you want to speak hard truths. You know, it's okay. I'm just trying to have fun today. I'm already almost a full Bloody Mary deep here this morning. So, you know, we're trying to have fun this morning, okay? And smile and laugh and have a good time. We're not trying to be serious today.
How much pepper do you put in your Bloody Marys?
I kind of normally I put a little pepper, a little Tabasco. You know, I thought about it 5 minutes before I was supposed to go live. So I ran upstairs. I just poured a little vodka, a little bit of Bloody Mary mix, and that was it. I didn't spend time really properly, making it. So, you know,
No celery, no veggies in it.
I didn't have time to cut up any of that stuff, and all that stuff's in my fridge. I always keep a Bloody Mary bar in my fridge at all times, but you know, just not today. It was a last second decision to start drinking at 9 a.m. today. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Hey, I'm about to get out of here. I just wanted to hop on. Love what you're doing, man. Appreciate you for doing this, having people stop in, and I love that you're doing the show for your dad, man. So I hope you're able to enjoy your 4th and enjoy whatever you guys are going to be grilling. Enjoy those dogs and burgers.
Hey, thanks a lot, Steve. And guys, make sure you're following Steve. He is the man right there. Have a great 4th of July, Steve.
You too. Later, Mitch.
See you, dude. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
That was Steve and Mitch. We're only going to do about 5-10 more minutes of this show here. So I want to end this show with another fun conversation, Mitch. Are you a 4th of July guy or person that enjoys watching the Nathan hot dog contest every year? And are you like me, you're going to refuse to watch it because they banned Joey Chestnut from it?
I'm with you on that one. I'm waiting for the Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi. That's what I'm waiting for now.
Aren't they doing it on Netflix like in a week or two?
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, absolutely. Because how can you have the hot dog eating contest, the ultimate, the Super Bowl of food eating, and ban the best of all time from being, 15 titles in a row or something like that this guy's won? I mean,
Something
how
like
can you do that?
It just boggles my mind. And you know the guy who like in charge of it, that's all he cares about is the money, and you ban him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
Because the guys made a sponsorship deal with Impossible Meats or whatever it's called. Like, seriously, is that really a reason to ban a guy? Like, it really boggles my mind. And I'd be shocked if the ratings don't take a big dip. I saw somebody say this, that Mitch, that Joey Chestnut should do a live stream during the hot dog contest eating. Like, when they start, he starts on his camera and does the eating and stuff like that and show that he can still beat everybody on his stream while the other stream is going on. Like, I kind of feel like that would be the thing to do right there, right?
I agree. He should actually do his own YouTube channel, like this other guy named Matt Stoney. Like,
Yeah, I know, Stoney.
yeah, he should do that. Joey would kill it.
It does open up the door. Whoever wins today, there's just going to be a giant asterisk next to it, right? You know? Like,
There's going to be one of those every single year going forward.
yeah, if he's not going to be allowed in it, they're gonna see this year that they butchered it, and they're going to have to let him back in next year. The other guy, Kobayashi, hasn't been in it for a while as well. He's the only guy that ever gave Joey Chestnut a run for his money. July 4, 1776, the 13 colonies We're no longer subject and subordinate to the monarch of Britain, King George III, and we're now united, free, and like I wish this was saved for the last second of the show, Mister, because this pretty much sums up what the real meaning of the 4th of July is all about right here. You know, we all had ancestors. Well, maybe some of us had ancestors. Here back then. I don't know. I don't know how far. I've not traced my family heritage back that far, so I don't know.
I haven't either.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not into that whole ancestry and me stuff and DNA testing. We found out a lot about my my wife's family through those things, and I don't want to find any skeletons in my closet. So, I don't need to know that I have a long lost brother or cousin out there. I don't need to know that my dad's not my dad or something like that. Like, I don't need any of that information out there. So, we'll just ignore the DNA tests and stuff like that, and let that be.
So I gotta ask you this: how do you feel with Sixers fans wanting Ben Simmons back? Like, it's been all over Twitter, and our guy Dibes wants him back.
Look, in theory, what Ben Simmons, when healthy, on an elite team that he doesn't have to score in, would, in theory, be a nice addition. A power forward that just rebounds, plays defense, and can run a fast break. In theory.
Does he have the willingness to play?
He doesn't have the willingness to play, period, let alone a
That's
power
my
forward.
question.
Yeah. He honestly, even on top of that, Ben Simmons, what did he play, like 17? I think he's played like 60 games over the last 3 seasons combined. Like, he doesn't stay healthy. He doesn't stay on the court. So even with all that, even if you think it's a good idea, he's not going to play.
He's not.
And on top of that, the bad idea of him coming back to Philly, him being back in that locker room, him being back in front of the fans, it's literally one of the dumbest things. Where I joked about it. I made a jokingly tweet about it, but I made sure to put in there, I don't really mean this. And I get what Dives says with it, because I've seen Dives say it's a good idea. In theory, a defensive-minded, rebounding power forward is exactly what you need. But
I want a guy who could shoot.
Well, I mean, I want Larry Marketing, and I just know it's not going to happen.
Marketing too. I want Marketing too.
It's not possible. So that's that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's a funny idea. I think the shit's going to hit the fan this year with the Sixers. So at least it would give us more entertainment and more, whatever. I'll throw a Sixers point at you. A little off topic of the Sixers, but with the Sixers. Late yesterday, they released the Team USA jerseys and their numbers. Joel Embiid, number 11. A, have you seen the jerseys?
I have.
Do you like the jerseys, A? And B, do you like the idea of Joel Embiid playing in the Olympics?
I like the jerseys. Just like it gives you that country vibe and everything to represent the USA. I love it. But each time when I see Embiid practicing for the Olympics and all this stuff, I'm just like, please just stay healthy. That's all I want. Yeah. That's all I want. Play ball. Just don't do anything stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I agree. I don't want him playing in the Olympics, guys. I think it's the risk versus the reward. It's just not. The only thing I will say is it is always a star-studded team. He's not going to be expected to play 38 minutes a game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's going to be able to play 20, 22 minutes a game. He should be able to protect himself. It's not going to be he's the focal point of the offense. You got some much bigger stars than him or much more ball-dominant people than him that are going to be on the team. So the risk might be a little bit less. The one thing I will say in a positive light, Team USA should win the gold medal.
Yeah.
I mean, France, you watch the draft. France puts out a lot of great quality basketball players. There's a couple really good teams around the world. So it's not a cakewalk, but they should win the gold medal. The one thing I will say is Joel Embiid could learn how to win on the Olympic team. Does that make sense? Like it could be his first taste of what championship caliber play feels like. And maybe he needs that to help him get over the hump. I don't know. I'm trying to grasp at straws for it.
He just needs someone to, get him past the next round and get him over that hump. And he can learn that from all these guys on Team USA. Curry, and I can go on and on.
Yeah. I mean, Duck, I get what you're saying. And I remember the first Dream Team, and I remember what it did to the excitement level of the original Dream Team in the Olympics and stuff like that. But on the flip side of it, I'm going to counter this with a different topic. There's talk about bringing baseball back in the Olympics, which it's crazy that baseball is not in the Olympics right now. But Bryce Harper has said he wants to be on Team USA in the Olympics. And I would rather Bryce Harper playing for Team USA in the Olympics than playing for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic every third year or whatever they do that. I don't know. I'm okay with the pros playing because all these European teams have pros playing too. So you have to eliminate the entire NBA. Team USA would be useless in the Olympics if you didn't have pros playing in it. Because even internationally, you can eliminate Luka Doncic from playing in the Olympics because he's an NBAer. But all these other foreign countries have kids at 16 playing professionally, and we would just get smoked. If we start rolling out high school and college kids, we'd get demolished every single year.
We would get killed. It all started with Luka. Be honest, Luka was 13 when he played in pros.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a long stream. We didn't start till 9 today. So I started an hour late so I could sleep an extra hour. But we are into overtime. No super chats, no tips, no bonuses. But we are in overtime, Marshawn. And I do expect you to go back and listen to the opening segment of the show. And just, for me, I'd appreciate that. Olympics should be for sports you can't see. K1, this is why I watch the Olympics. I watch track and field. I watch, the swimming. I watch badminton. I watch one of my biggest regrets in life, K1 and Mitchie Poo, is that in 2004 I was working on cruise ships and my ship was based out of Europe at the time, and we were in Athens for the Olympics multiple times, and it was a disaster because Athens is already an overly populated, crowded city. You throw the Olympics in Athens and it's just 10 times worse. And I walked through the Olympic Village during the Olympics. Okay. Mm-hmm. My biggest regret is I wanted to go see an Olympic event. The cheapest ticket I could get that day was to see a badminton match between two foreign countries. And it was like $250 to watch a badminton event. And I said, no, I can't do that. Now, looking back 20 years later, the fact that I didn't drop that $250 to watch an Olympic event when I probably dropped that $250 on a couple bottles of wine at a restaurant instead later that day, it's still a regret that I didn't get to go watch an Olympic event live in person.
Yeah. I could only imagine being Olympic and live.
Yeah. I mean, Olympics, yeah. Americans do. Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with finally getting some national pride, some patriotic pride. Not at all. LaMelo Ball wasn't it, but he played in the Australian League and made a name for himself. I did not know that.
He already had a name for himself before he went there. I've been watching him ever since he was 8th grade. The guy dropped 97 points in a game in 8th grade. So he already had a name for himself before he went over there.
Right. Yes, I want baseball.
His dad ruined it.
Baseball is not just an America's pastime. Baseball is huge in Asia. It's huge in the Caribbean. It's huge in South America. Yeah, it's not big in Europe, but everywhere else it is massive. So it would be entertaining to see an Olympic baseball back and allowing the pros to play, because it would make it really entertaining baseball. The Olympic baseball would be a better version of the World Baseball Classic. That's all I'll say about that.
Yes, agreed.
Cricket should also be in the Olympics, Duck. I'm actually shocked it's not. Golf made it to the Olympics. Why isn't cricket? Cricket's it's not big in America, but it's huge. Cricket might actually be bigger than soccer worldwide. Honestly, there's an argument to be made for that. I don't know anything about cricket other than I've seen highlights of it. I just don't understand it. Yeah, exactly. I kind of passed over his comment, and it's not because I don't appreciate and respect what he said. It's just I try to keep it much lighter than that. We're not going to dive down a deep rabbit hole today. Maybe Ben Simmons will play for Australia and audition. Yeah, Ben Simmons on Team Australia. I don't think Australia wants Ben Simmons on their team. I don't.
Has that happened? I felt like that was about to happen years ago.
I think it was about to happen years ago, and he didn't make the team years ago.
Yeah.
He played against grown men and came out so much better. Yeah, I get it. Instead of playing for the NCAA, why the hell isn't cricket in the Olympics and we have to watch curling? I enjoy watching curling during the Winter Olympics because it's something I don't get to watch. I watch the skiing. I watch the speed skating. I love watching luge and bobsled. Like the lugers are insane psychopaths. Honestly, I bet you if you did a study, half of the people that participate in the luge are probably serial killers on the side. Like that's how crazy you got to be going 80 miles an hour down that little piece of plywood, on skates.
Yeah.
Like you got to be crazy. But I love all the rare, obscure Olympic. And when we get closer to the Olympics, Noobs, we are going to talk more Olympics on this show for sure.
Yeah.
Baseball is the third most favorite sport in the world, and it's not in the Olympics. Make it make sense. So it's soccer, cricket, and baseball are the three biggest sports in the world. I mean, there's an argument to be made that's true. Football's not like American football's not that big outside of America. It's getting bigger, but it's not. Basketball maybe is up there in
It's
the top
getting
five,
bigger.
but
Basketball is getting bigger. Oh, crack that top 4.
yeah, absolutely. We can watch 3 baseball games any night of the week. Yeah, we can. But it's different when you're that national pride. It was a demo, but it's back. It was a demo. Xander Schauffele won the gold medal, and it's a debut. This year, it's back. Team USA still doesn't have Bryce and DeChambeau. Only a few select understand why I'm upset about that. I could see hammer throwing once every 4 years. Yeah. Well, you got archery already, so curling is the best Olympic sport ever. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I don't understand the physics behind it, but you know what? It's entertaining to listen to them grunting and shouting and screaming. It really is. Tennis is in the Olympics, but baseball isn't. Come on now. I saw enough hammer throwing when playing track and field every day. I love watching the track and field. I really do. Luge is insane. The nut who created that sport needs that. I'm telling you, it might have been Jack the Ripper who created the luge. That's how crazy you got to be to create a sport like luge. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's insane. There's zero chance I would ever get on a luge. Is it called a board? I don't know, Duck. Zero chance I'd ever do that. Basketball is, but baseball is not. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
A fun fact, curling was the Vikings' touchdown celebration right before the roof caved in for them. And that is correct. That's a great pull.
That.
That's a great pull right there. Yeah, absolutely. The Olympic sport that gave housewives and husbands. Dude, there are spots after curling became like curling's been in the Olympics for a while, but like 2 or 3 Olympics ago, Mitch, curling got this big boost for some reason. Dude, there are curling private country clubs that are opening up across America because of curling. Like they literally have entire country clubs centered around not golf, but curling. And it's kind of crazy to think. I would like to give it a try. I don't know. I'd like to give it a try. You know what you're going to see? The next trendy sport that's going to make the Olympics, Mitch, is going to be pickleball. Pickleball's gaining momentum, and I'm a huge fan of pickleball now. So I want to give it a shot. So I want to give it a try. Did you see the Japan destroyed Team USA? Yes, I did see that.
I did.
Are they going to add football to the Olympics someday? Mitch, do you think they should?
When is the next Olympics? Isn't it like
every 2? So it's this year's summer. 2 years is football. It's every 2 years for the Olympics. Every 4 for each winter/summer.
Right. So I could see it. That'd be entertaining.
I mean, I could see it. I mean, unless you're going to let the pros, like out of all the sports, I would want pros in football at least than any other sport, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wouldn't mind. Oh, wait. I was going to say hockey. I'm like, hockey's already there.
Yeah. Pickleball is tennis for idiots. I disagree because I was a huge tennis. I played tennis in high school. I'm a tennis guy. Always been a huge tennis guy, but my knees and leg cannot handle tennis and the amount of running. The pickleball court is massively smaller, Duck. So to me, someone that can't play tennis anymore, I want to give pickleball a shot because it's a similar form of tennis and a little bit less running, a little bit less stop and go on my bad knee and leg. So, that's just what I'm going to say there. Jesus, Adam bringing in a deep question, Mitchie Poo. Deep question from Adam here. I don't know where this came from. I think he's tired of our Olympic talk, so he's trying to change the subject, Mitch.
That is just so random.
It is. That's Adam for you. I love Adam. Adam's my man. I'm going to say Jalen Hurts is better.
I'm going to go with Hurts, but Nick Foles got us to the promised land. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the promised land. So.
Pickleball, tennis for olds with no more. See, that's exactly what it is. I'm old. I have no more knee cartilage in my right knee. I've got a metal bar holding my right leg together. I got 2 screws in my kneecap. Pickleball is for me, okay? Because I can't play tennis anymore. I can't hit a serve and run up to the net to volley in a tennis match anymore. K1. See, I know the terminology for tennis.
Yeah.
You didn't know I knew tennis terminology. Okay. I used to have a killer backhand, K1, just so you know. On the tennis court, not this
Right.
backhand. I practiced this backhand to get a really good backhand in tennis.
Right. So yeah, my dad's a doctor, so he sees all these injuries from pickleball. He's a radiologist, so he's like, "Oh, look, the elbow. That gets it a lot." Elbow.
Yeah. What kind of doctor is your father?
Radiologist.
Okay. All right. Outdoor ping pong, basically. Yeah. Ping pong's in the Olympics, so why isn't pickleball then? Is tennis for elderly and why the Olympics? I was just kidding about pickleball in the Olympics. BDN clearly over Jalen Hurts because he got us to the promised land. I get it, but Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback. Which is bigger, cornhole or pickleball? Cornhole is massive. I don't know about you, Mitch. I'm
cornhole's pretty big.
Yeah, it's something that I should be good at, but I am all. Do not, bitch. If we ever do an EOP barbecue, do not pick to be on my cornhole team. All right, because I am the worst cornhole player in the world. Literally, like, you get the bumpers for bumper bowling. Is there something they can like put bumpers around the cornhole board? I would still miss it. I still would.
I'm so bad.
So bad.
Serving
volley, serving volley. Just so you know, dude. Were you in a car accident? No, I got clipped. I got clipped from behind playing football. Had a double. Basically, had the Alex Smith / Joe Theismann injury, depending on how old you are. Happened to my leg, or Sid Vicious, if you remember him jumping off the top rope and having his leg broken. And his leg just dangled. That was me. My heel touched my kneecap, basically, from getting clipped from behind. I almost had my leg amputated on it. So that's why I don't play sports anymore. I mean, I wasn't very good at many sports, but I still like to play. I just can't now because I can't run. I can't jump. I could barely walk on a given day. So that is what I had happen to me. Just so you know, I used to have a card. There was a card with a phone number on it. And back in the day, when security was a little different at the airport, I'd have to pull that card out at the airports because I would set off metal detectors and they wouldn't believe me or the scars on my leg. So I had a card. I don't need the card now because metal detectors are different and they could tell that it's metal in my leg and stuff like that. But yes, I did get stopped at airports quite frequently, Mister, on this one. So, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. Cornhole is awesome. My wife, who has not a single athletic bone in her body. My wife, Doc, I'm sure wife is the same as me. My wife is, absolutely. My wife would whoop my wife refuses to be my partner in cornhole because she knows I'm so bad. And she knows she's as competitive as I am, and she doesn't want to lose. So she will pick anybody. Like the kid that's picked last on the basketball court, that's me in a cornhole tournament. Yes, Nooms. It was an awful injury. I did not walk, period, at all for over 6 months. They gave me like a 65% chance of having my leg amputated during the surgery. It was pretty awful. So that's a story for another day, though. Mitch, I hate to do this, but I think it's time we start wrapping this show up here. So Mitch, tonight, 7:15, fly like a. What are you talking about on your podcast tonight?
We're just gonna laugh at the Giants. Pretty much, we're gonna laugh at the Giants.
45 minutes of laughing at the Giants. That's something that drunk me tonight at 7:15 might tune in for.
That the Kelly Green jersey games, they've been announced, and mostly the Giants laughing at them.
Still, I'll end the show with this. Kelly Green is overrated. Kelly Green, I could care less.
I agree with you.
It's overrated, Mitch.
They're nice. I have one, or actually I have two coming from the WrestleMania one. But yeah.
Shit.
When was the last time we did something?
Yeah. Hold on, I forgot. We can't wrap it up, K1, because I need to hire David Archeri because I forgot his ad read. I need a lawyer to protect me because I missed the ad read. So make sure if you need a lawyer on this 4th of July, if you have a personal injury at somebody's house on the 4th of July today, if you get some criminal law issues or motor vehicle accidents from the 4th of July today, you get hurt at work today, if you're working on the 4th of July, call the best damn lawyer in Pennsylvania, David Archeri, the Trey Law Firm. He will fight for you and get you what you deserve. Give him a call, 610-565-000, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. That's David Archeri. And, of course, Dolan's Bar, East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, DolansBar.com. Tell PJ how much you want Trending in the AM live from Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park one day, and we'll get that set up coming up soon. Back to that. Sorry, Mitch. I didn't mean to cut you off. I've totally butchered the ad reads today just because I'm having too much fun today.
Yeah. You know what you should do? You should put a vote in the chat and just be like, which breed is the best? Like David R. Cherry or Cherry Tickets or whatever.
I don't even know how to do polls in the chat. I don't even know how to
I
do
did
that.
not say that. I said vote.
Vote. Oh, okay. Well, there is a way to do polls, like real polls, like voting polls. Okay. All right. There is a way. There is a way to do polls.
There
in the
is
chat.
a way, but after the way we're talking, I can't say how.
I know what you're getting at here. I would have hired David R. Cherry K1 to represent me in the David R. Cherry versus Phil lawsuit. You know what I mean? There might have been a little conflict of interest there, but my bad. That's what happens when you're going for almost 2 hours and you're one giant ass Bloody Mary deep already at 11 a.m.
This is why I just play the clips. This is
Yeah.
why I play the clips. I can't do the ad read.
It was a rushed ad read. It will. I promise a better ad read tomorrow. I will. When is Trending in the PM? Get Al on the horn. Dude, you want more hours of my time? I already give you guys like 10 hours a week. You want more of my time? You got to make sure you hit the like button, the share button, the subscribe, the follow. You got to get these numbers up, guys. You want more of my time? We got to get the numbers up. The numbers have been great, especially on Facebook the last couple of weeks. Got to get the numbers up. Numbers go up, more time of mine you get. It was a subpar read under pressure. It was under pressure. I crack under pressure.
Pressure.
But sometimes, Mitch, pressure, what does pressure make?
Money.
Diamonds.
Diamonds, money.
Pressure makes diamonds. So, that's just where we're at today. But with that, make sure you guys watch Mitchy Poo tonight. Mitch, I'm going to, in a second here, give you a second to do your thing here. And then I'm going to take you off the screen because I want to close with some more closing comments on my dad. But again,
of course.
Give everybody a shout out about where Hardcore Sports Network is and all you got going on.
Yeah, so Hardcore Sports Network, we basically cover every single sport. We do wrestling, football, basketball, hockey, UFC, you name it. Fly like an eagle tonight, 7:15. If you want to laugh at Giants fans in the organization, you know where to go.
Right here on Edge of Philly, and of course, check out his personal channel, Hardcore Sports Network. My man Mitchy Poo, back off his lifetime ban, back on his lifetime ban after this, probably though, right?
I don't know. It depends how mad Tobias Harris will get me over in Detroit. How bad he's playing over there.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Have a great 4th of July, Mitch.
Yep, you too, guys. I'll catch you all later. Have a good one.
You too. All right, guys, that was Mitchy Poo. This was a fun show, but we're going to start the wrap-up process here. Diamonds only if you have carbon in solid form. Otherwise, you make title rocks. I don't know the science behind it, but you know who would have known the science behind it is my father. And again, as I started the show off, this show was dedicated to him. He lost his fight with cancer 25 years ago today. And I wanted to make sure I dedicated the show to him. My love of sports, my love of baseball, my hard work ethic, who I am today came from my father. So I hope I made him proud today. I hope I made him proud always. And here I go again, tearing up. Just even mentioning his name, just gets me all in my feels. So this show was for him today. Every show is for him, but this show specifically, as today, like I said, marks 25 years since he lost his fight, his battle. It's a tough day, and it's a tough day every year, the 4th of July for me, because it's always in the back of my head. But for some reason, 25 years today really is just hitting hard for me. So I'm going to drink a lot of beer today. I'm going to watch a lot of baseball today. I'm going to hope to stay sober enough to create tomorrow's show today. I don't know. We might get tomorrow's show set up last second tomorrow morning. Maybe I wake up a little early tomorrow to do it. We'll see how that goes. But today was for you. Today was for him. So with that, I'm going to go make another Bloody Mary. I'm going to get the drinking started today. Everybody have a great 4th of July. Everyone have a safe 4th of July. Don't set off fireworks. Don't come on the show tomorrow typing about your firework injuries. Let's come back tomorrow, talk more baseball, talk more Eagles. We're going to have a lot of jam-packed stuff today or tomorrow, as always. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you more than you guys can understand. But let's have fun today. It's the 4th of July. Let's enjoy. Everybody have a great day. Yes, it's always. And you know what? I say Bubbles Up. If you guys don't know the song Bubbles Up, I recommend reading the lyrics. It's a song that I'm going to go probably listen to like 2 or 3 times today, just to get me through today. So it's a song that does mean a lot to me. So go Birds, ring the bell, and as we always end every show, Bubbles Up, guys.